Hello, beautiful. I'm stopping in today. I've been thinking a lot about what's happening all around the world at the moment. There's so much fear and uncertainty, myself included. And I guess what I wanted to bring to you today is a short practice, a creative practice that can help check back in with ourselves. So I think it's really easy at the moment to have a lot of our attention outside, keeping up with news updates, checking Facebook, getting caught into all of the media hype around what's happening. And yes, there are very real risks, and I'm not negating that at all. What I am trying to bring forth though within myself and sharing with you as well is the fact that no matter what happens on the outside in our daily experience, there's always an opportunity for us to go within and find some seeds of growth and leaning into how we would like to be and how we would like to respond, and bringing forth a sense of inner clarity, calmness, but also agency. And by agency I mean our ability to feel like we can make a difference to our experience. So I'm going to take you through a really simple creative practice. I've chosen a couple of cards from my intuitive wisdom deck to kind of guide us forward today. The first one is create. So this is about invent, draw, paint, sing, dance or bake. Let's wait for the track to go. And the other one that I chose, and I feel like this feels, when I picked this card out, there was a real sense of softness in my tummy. On the back of this card it says, let it go, embrace healing and gently forgiving. The reason I feel this card is really kind of relates to everything that's happening in the world right now is it's very easy for us to get caught up in the fear responses that we're seeing in others, and even judging ourselves for the fear responses in ourselves. And I feel that judgment and blame, it's just another mental tool that keeps us down. And I think in this time more than anything, we need inner health through our thoughts, through the foods we eat, through the choices that we make. So I'm just asking, I'd just like to take a moment before we get started to just pop your hand on your heart and the other hand on your tummy. And just take a nice deep breath in. And imagine that you've got a balloon in your torso. And when you breathe in, you fill it up. And breathe out, you let it go. Let's just stay with ourselves for a few breaths, just slowing down. If your mind starts to wander to all of the fear or anything else that's going outside, just let it go. We can give ourselves 3 breaths. We can always give ourselves 3 breaths. There's always time. So for our little creative exercise, it's going to be really simple. You'll just need either a piece of paper or a journal. I've got a little journal here that I'm going to be working in. I've been journaling every day lately, so I'm just going to find a blank page If you've got any printed papers, I've got a little thing of wrapping paper here. I'm going to choose one of those. I would love you to either find a magazine that has animals in it, or even go on the internet and we'll find an animal. And then you'll just need glue, scissors and a pen. Okay, so I'm going to go set the camera up now so that I can take you through this process. So in the meantime, when you're ready, so you'll just need some paper to go on. Hi, Crow. Scissors, glue, a pen and wrapping paper, and an animal, a printed animal of some sort. Whichever one comes to mind first. First thought, best thought. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, so I've got all of the materials I need. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take a breath, and what I'd like you to do is to choose an animal. So I love going to op shops and finding old National Geographic things that I can use. You can see my toes here. I'm actually sitting on my beanbag on my front deck and creating right here after I finish my meditation. So when I look through and choose an animal from a magazine, well, this is kind of like a National Geographic special edition. I like to just flick through and without too much thought, so I kind of step out of my school brain and I kind of let go of contextualizing what I should be choosing or what kind of matches what I think I want. And I really just breathe deeply, soften, and I just flick through the pages until one stands out. So for me, and I don't always know why it stands out, but I trust my intuition. So that's what I do in my work. I'm an intuitive artist, and I've just found it's never led me astray. So once you have chosen your animal, as I said, this is nothing to think deeply about. I've never even heard of a European curlew before, but something about this little fella. Oh, I just noticed, look, isn't that lovely? Standing over little babies. So yeah, so just trust your gut. And then the second thing that I'd like you to do is have a look through any wrapping paper or coloured paper that you've got at home and find a pattern or a colour that just kind of feels for you like it sits well. Yeah, it feels hopeful. It feels like something that you need right now. So I'm just going to have a little squeeze and pick mine out. So I'm actually going to go with this. Okay, so all we're going to do now is for your page, we're going to tear or cut a circle or an oval or a triangle or another shape that feels powerful for you today. So I've just found this accidental tear, and when I look at the shape of these flowers, that kind of makes almost like a curvy diamond sort of shape. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to tear. So it's up to you. If you prefer yours to feel a little bit more clean cut, of course you can use scissors. I actually really like working with tearing because it gives things a really organic feel, and it takes me out of my perfectionistic modes. So I'm actually going to do mine up this way. And look at that, it just happens to fit the page beautifully. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab your glue stick and glue down your piece of coloured or patterned paper. And this is going to create kind of like a backdrop for your animal. So as I said, this is a really simple exercise. There's very little thought needed. We're just stepping into our creative bodies. Smoothing that down. And now you've got your animal. So when we choose an animal, it will always, well usually, you'll find that it has a backdrop within it. So you get to use some of your creative license as to which parts of the animal and background you would like to use. So I would definitely I love all these little babies. So I'm going to keep the little babies in there. And the thing is, if you leave a little bit extra in there, you can always cut it back later. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to need all of this dark area here, but I'm going to leave it there in case I do. So I prefer to use small scissors. I just find that the smaller the scissors are, the easier you can get into the tight little points. And just taking small little snips as I go. I just love, something I really love about this animal, this European curlew. It feels to me very humble, like it doesn't need all of the bright flamboyant colours to feel strong and safe in who it is, who she is. So maybe that's something I'm working towards too. Okay, and now, so all you need to do is move your little animal around and pop it where it feels right. Put a little bit of glue on the back. And I'm going to have mine coming out of this flower. I follow a really wonderful art therapist called Shelley Clammer, and she talks about collage, using collage as a way to tap into a mysterious puzzle. It's like creativity as a way to tap us into the possibilities of life. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, you've just got your pen here, and I'm just inviting you to do what kind of feels really interesting, to kind of bring your image into the here and now. So for me, I'm just going to this little flower, I'd like to extend that a little bit. Maybe extend these flowers a little bit so they're kind of growing. Put a few little dots on here. So this is not about creating a masterpiece. This is just about connection with ourselves. So what I'd like you to do now is just spend a moment with your artwork. You might like to notice some of the colours that you've used, any of the colours that are reoccurring. So here I've got a lot of green. There's pattern. I love the softness in her eyes. And see if there's a word that kind of captures how this animal with a background feels for you. So I'm just spending a moment doing that for myself now. The word humble keeps coming to me. She's quite humble. And growth. So you might like to write your words. Humble growth. Or you might even like to write a short poem about your artwork and your image. So the purpose of this exercise, there are a few. One is to just slow down, connect with our breath, put our brain into creativity mode, which is using our right brain. So that takes us away from the analytical kind of getting stuck in how we're going to work everything out, and just stepping us into the realm of new possibilities. As I said, it slows us down, but it also gives us a kind of a visual tool about what interests us, what is interesting for us right now, what we're feeling into right now. And when we look at an image that we've actually compiled, the overall feeling that we get from that gives us some insight into ourselves. So this idea of humble growth for me, when I reflect, and I'm talking to you about it now, and you might like to journal about this process afterwards. For me, it's very much about the way that I'm getting through and moving through this experience of everything that's going on. I've got some incense flowing over here. Is just really about slowing down, going within, kind of doing those really homely, kind of soulful experiences, spending time with my son, cooking, making art, and really not rushing myself into action. Really allowing this time to kind of slow down and simmer rather than a rapid boil. And I feel that by taking things slowly and nourishing myself and my son and my creativity, that is only going to bring forth beautiful seeds from here on in for whatever unfolds. So yeah, so that's my humble growth. I would love to, once you've done this exercise, I'd love you to share it with me. Feel free to tag me at Chrissy Foreman Artist on Instagram or Facebook so that I can see. And yeah, as I said, if you'd like to journal about your experience, sometimes when I've created an artwork, I will write a few words afterwards, like I'll find an image where I've done that. So yeah, sometimes I'll do a little bit of journaling. I'll kind of describe the shapes and colors that I see and then write down some ideas around that. So sometimes the writing component, as I said, I'm sitting on my front deck. Sometimes the writing component can help kind of really ground things for you as well. But regardless, just taking the 5 or 10 minutes to create this little artwork is just a really lovely way for you to slow down, reconnect, and make some time for some humble growth. Okay, so yeah, so I hope this has been helpful. It's just a very small offering. It's something that you can do, you know, once a week, or something that you know, anytime you just feel like kind of connecting with yourself and having a little bit of inner reflection. Thank you, and I will see you again soon.